podcast is not for kids.
You are listening to the Reddit Real podcast.
What are they going to talk about today? Whatever the hell they want. So you mean I could juggle?
That's how we're starting this episode?
That's going to be a problem.
I have gags in there.
Seriously?
Oh, wow.
How is that going to be helpful, Gabe?
Oh my God. I don't know if I should put that audio in or if I edit that out to start the episode.
Also, gags not for beginners.
Not for beginners.
Yeah, there's some inherent dangers there.
Yeah, okay. So speaking of the beginning, maybe we start with welcome back.
We're already okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're live now.
Okay. I didn't hear the intro music, so
yeah.
I was just saying things that I probably should.
Oh,
You didn't hear that?
you didn't hear it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was in. Oh shit! I heard it in the headphones. Did you hear it in the headphones?
Yes.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Oh. Can you hear us in the headphones right now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. I didn't hear the music.
He probably blocked it.
Whatever.
out.
Everybody knows I'm a
zoned out.
pervert. I'm Gabriel. I'm disgusting.
He's back again on the Reddit Real podcast. This is the second episode we've got Gabe. This is episode 6 overall. Had a little bit of a break, but yeah, we'll be back again. This one we need to start with a disclaimer. If you make it past this point right here, you're on your own.
We're already past that point.
You're on.
I think we already passed
You
that
heard gags
point, if you're
in the
listening.
intro part. So you're on your own.
Yes, I will talk
Anyways,
about implicit things. So if you don't want to hear that type of stuff, just
Should be fun though.
but from an educational perspective, yeah.
Gonna be a teacher.
Today I'm putting my teacher cap on, and I'm teaching you all about the wonderful joy of BDSM.
You want an A in BDSM. Okay, so I don't even know where we begin. So, because we've been kind of talking about what we wanted to include in the episode, and we have a lot of ideas, but I don't know what the beginning is. What would you say is the beginning?
I know. Yeah, same thing. We talked about how we wanted to start, and this is the first one ever since we left in Mexico, and a whole lot of stuff has happened. We had to take a longer break, but after just hearing a little bit of what he's gonna share, it's just like I can't think of anything else.
Got a lot of questions.
Let's clarify. You wanted this, and you wanted this, and you wanted this. Okay, don't put it on me. You guys were interested and wanted to learn more. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I just realized that we opened a Pandora box. This is like, what?
There's a Pandora bag here. the tool chest.
Tools of the trade.
Yes. So
So the very beginning that I found earlier was Mesopotamia.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, in a nutshell, before I get into specific technical definitions and what every BDSM even stands for, stuff like that, it's BDSM just at its core is as structured and organized way to discuss and express sexuality. So, like you said in your research, there is evidence of it even back to Mesopotamia.
My research.
Right. which is what, at least 4,000 years ago. So, and it's just something that's inherent to human sexuality and to some other species as well, actually. But it's
I mean, there was a historian that had kind of written about that, and it went all the way back to just like the gods and different beasts had like human servants and would beat them into a sexual frenzy And then after that, it was just squirting all over and it was just like,
Oh my God. I'm like, what?
it was just like really like heavy sexual experiences and, full on, it was more than just penetration. It was kind of like, it was almost otherworldly back in the Mesopotamian times as well.
Exactly.
And happened across all different species. They saw that with, the dominant, animals and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Because when you say BDSM, people just think mostly the SM, the sadomasochism, they think it's just like a violence thing, aggressive thing, and it's kind of that negative stereotype. And a lot of people think that people who are into BDSM are kind of emotionally damaged or mentally have some kind of disorder, stuff like that. And you see that a lot in movies and TV as well. They always have that stereotypical character who is into BDSM because they were abused as a child or like stuff like that, which is not true, but that's the stereotype that the media portrays.
Like that's the gateway drug.
Right.
So
yeah, like if you're into this kind of stuff, if you're into anything sexual that's not the normal, it's because you're messed up.
You're
There was
deviant.
some tragic event.
Right.
You're a deviant perfect.
Like even 50 Shades of Grey, the character Christian Grey, they say that when he was like 13 or 15 or something like that this older woman kind of like seduced him and kind of like took advantage of him, And, like I said, that's a stereotype that you see in pretty much every BDSM presentation in movies and stuff like that, but it's not true. Everybody, I mean, sure, there is people, I'm sure. But like I said, it's something that's inherent to sexuality is people have fantasies. Everybody has fantasies. Most people don't realize their fantasies because they don't know how to express them in a safe and consensual way. So that's basically what BDSM, it provides a structure and organized way to open communication between people to accomplish what you want.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess.
So not necessarily like the whole tying up and the
It could be part of it.
It could be part of it.
What
It
is
cannot
it,
be part of it.
The dominatrix and stuff.
Right.
The sub.
Yeah, so I mean,
What?
like I said, every sexual activity can fall into BDSM. Even the most vanilla act of just, typical vaginal missionary sex. Yeah, everything can fall into BDSM. It's how you do it. And,
She's learning so much right now.
it's just basically allowing you the freedom and a non-judgmental way to go as far as you are willing to go.
Okay.
So I guess some things to kind of define first, because also there's people may not know, or for example, vanilla is what we call just regular normal,
old sex.
All sex,
Every day.
Right, which can differ, depends on who you ask. On what culture you belong to, where you live, or what
How old you are.
how old you are, your background, your religion, whatever it may be. The definition of normal vanilla can be completely different.
That's very true.
We'll have more details of vanilla. There's examples of vanilla.
Vanilla stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, some stuff that is considered vanilla now, maybe 5 years ago wouldn't have been considered vanilla. It changes too with time. So another thing I think it was important to define is when I say kink and fetish, do you guys think that there's a difference? Do you think it's the same word?
Well, okay. So the way you asked it, there's a difference.
But most people
I
use
couldn't
it.
explain like what it is, or even maybe I don't know what that
Isn't
is.
kink like just different, like, I don't know, like different things that are kind of risque that you enjoy doing, but fetish is like an obsession with a particular thing that might arouse you?
Pretty much. So kink is
Got
something
it, babe.
outside of the vanilla,
knows.
something not considered
She knows.
normal.
My drink.
Something that arouses you that is not considered normal, that's a kink. A fetish is something that is outside of that normal, but it's necessary for your arousal. You can't be aroused.
Necessary.
Yeah, you can't be aroused without it. So that's what a fetish is.
So like people with fetishes, like it's necessary? Like feet have to be
They
involved.
can't be
in
aroused
some way?
without that specific fetish.
You
Like
have
they
to-
can't
so
do
they
it with
can't be around
socks.
someone
Right,
who
they
doesn't
can't
have
get
feet.
off without that. So that's the difference between kink and fetish. Most people use it interchangeably, but they're different. A kink is just something that you find arousing that may not be considered normal. A fetish is something that you find arousing does not make it be considered normal, but is necessary for you. A kink may not be necessary. You can still be aroused by other stuff, but a fetish is necessary for your either arousal or your orgasm. Like you need that specific fetish to be satisfied.
Oh wow. Okay.
So if you have a foot fetish, you're
Then-
not going to be interested in Lieutenant Dan.
Right. And it depends per person. You know?
We
And
need,
no
to, find, we need to
socks,
find that
right?
picture.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, maybe the amputated leg will do it for you. I don't know.
If you're into nubs.
Right. There's
Yeah.
no judgment
You know?
here.
Yeah, I mean everybody.
Yeah.
There's
that's,
plenty of love. There's
yeah.
lots of love.
So that's a fetish is what's also described in the
That's what
academic
LOL
field
stands
as
for.
a paraphilia.
A what?
Paraphilia.
Paraphilia?
Yeah, which people think of them as sexual disorders, but they're not really disorders. They're just, like I said, fetish is something that is in your mind necessary for your arousal or orgasm. So amputees is one of the defined paraphilia.
Yeah.
So if it's something, like I said, if it's something that you absolutely need, then it's a paraphilia / fetish. If it's
Okay.
just something that you like, but you can do without, then it's a kink. Because
Okay.
it's not considered normal.
You like from time to time.
Right.
All good. Okay.
Yeah. So
On
I
a
kinda-
kinky night,
What?
like kinky night.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, I kind of already explained kind of what BDSM is at its core, kind of in a nutshell. And like a lot of the stuff you may have noticed that I'm discussing has to deal with your mind, how you perceive things.
Right.
So I think BDSM is about power in two ways, power of the mind and power dynamics. So
Okay.
power of the mind is, as humans, we have sex not just with our bodies, but with our minds. And as much as, since
It's
it's
a total mind fuck, man.
right, think about it, you are aroused just by thinking of something, you can be aroused. You can, when you are having sex or any kind of sexual activity, your mind is what is most engaged, even more than your body. You're engaging with your mind.
Yeah. Because there's all the, touching, smelling, tasting that's
All
involved
the senses.
in
yeah.
it. Then your mind has to process all that.
Right?
And then turn to like, hey, you know what? I fucking like that.
And just thinking about
Oh,
things.
right there. Right there. Right there.
What the heck?
Yeah. Just the concept of something, the idea of something. Like again, it goes to, we all have fantasies, and the power of the mind of BDSM gives you a structure and organized and techniques to get your fantasies into reality in a safe, consensual way, sane way.
Sane way.
Right. So that's actually the three laws of BDSM.
Interesting
No matter
choice
how
word there.
vanilla or how rocky road.
But I guess before I get into that,
And some people like Neapolitan. Multiple colors
Right.
involved.
different flavors for everybody.
Yeah, there could be different masks.
And the thing with fantasy too that people don't realize is that some fantasies are great because they're fantasies, and
Sure.
they're only good as long as they remain fantasies. And some
Right.
fantasies you want to become reality. So there's even then, not everything is the same. There's a
How
lot
to
of
know the
nuance.
difference?
It was almost Disney-like right there.
So maybe the idea of something happening, that something may happen, turns you on. But if it actually were to happen, then you'd be turned off. For
Or it
example,
might
Like-
scare you.
Like getting caught
Mhm.
in public.
Yeah, exactly, like public.
Yeah.
You like the idea of that danger of getting caught. But if you were to actually get caught, if that fantasy were to become a reality, then you wouldn't like that.
Right.
So you have to learn to differentiate between them.
Is it all soaking in? You're just like,
they're like I
so
said,
much to consider right now.
there's a lot to it. There's a lot nuance, and most people have fantasies and they can go their whole lives without ever telling a single soul about it. Even if they're married to the same person for 50 years, they never tell them.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because there's a whole just societal taboo of what you think, and the fear of being judged. And so basically BDSM is a way of saying anything goes as long as it's between consensual partners. It's not
We agree.
being taken advantage of. It's safety and sanity. It's all maintained. So and then
you keep bringing up sanity and sane. Why does that keep coming back?
so those are actually like the 3 rules of BDSM.
There's rules. Okay.
Right, basically like the 3 laws that you must follow at all times.
Okay.
Like no matter what you do, you have to follow these rules at all times.
So a
Otherwise-
robot cannot harm a human. No matter-
Actually,
okay.
there's a lot of overlay for all those nerds out there who are fans of Isaac Asimov, who created the 3 laws of robotics.
Right.
There's a lot of overlay between them. You can actually line them up to the 3 laws of robotics.
Oh shit. See, we're fucked.
But
Multiple ways.
right. But yeah, so the 3 laws are safe, sane, and consensual.
Safe, sane, and consensual.
Sane and consensual.
So everything you do with a partner or multiple partners or even by yourself has to be safe. You have to maintain safety, both physical and emotional.
Okay.
And it has to be sane. Again, you can't be
The emotional part got you.
right coercing
That's
somebody
good.
to do things. That wouldn't be sane. You can't be so drunk that you're not really fully able to maintain sanity and safety.
So there are breathalyzers involved? I got one.
Right. Being a sane,
Not in the
frame of
vehicle
mind,
anymore.
basically. And consent, obviously, you have to have consent no matter what you're
Right.
doing. You both have to agree that you want that done. And consent is not a one and done thing. Consent can be withdrawn at any point.
Right.
So it's not like when we first got together, I agreed to this, but now I kind of feel like maybe I don't want to do this. Or like, okay, no, well, you said yes at the beginning, so no, you can't change your mind. Or even while it's
I'm still gonna poke you
Right.
there.
or even while
Keep
it's
fucking
happening,
pooping on me. I'm not into it anymore.
right? While it's happening, and you decide that you don't, you change your mind, you can withdraw consent at any point. So falls back into again sane, into that you are with somebody that if you say no, they're gonna respect it.
Right. Okay.
So it kind of safe, sane, and consensual. I think in kind of relationship talk, we call that trust, communication, and respect.
right.
So safety, trust, to be able to, when you trust somebody, you entrust, your safety to them.
Right. Right.
Communication, like I said, insanity is that you're both aware of what's going on and you're in a good state of mind. You're not, like I say, just drunk or something like that, or even just angry or upset, where you can't make decisions or respect decisions that are made. So you're in a sane state of mind. And
So-
Okay, kind of like you're
okay,
not
so it has to
centered.
be
This
pretty-
isn't
Mhm.
okay.
And, yeah, and
That's interesting.
consent is respect, being able to respect other people and what they say no to, what they say yes to.
Okay.
So is it pretty common
Respect
that
boundaries.
that both parties are completely sober when everything happens?
Yeah, usually yes. And with things like weed, for example, I think things, it's not a lot of people engage in sexual activities while high after smoking or anything like that. It's not like alcohol, where alcohol it is a dangerous thing if you get into stuff like that. That too, because some people are angry drunks, for example.
Right.
And some people are drunks that may not be able to, to be foggy minded, and maybe they're
They
not
forget the safe word. And,
right. Maybe you're doing something that they don't follow safety precautions because you're drunk. So you always want to be in a state of mind that is sane, that you are able to ensure safety and consent are followed.
Okay. I like that. But
Stay
yeah,
safe,
because
people.
whatever you see like in the media or anything, wherever BDSM is brought up, it's so
abusive.
violent, abusive, yeah, where
Yeah.
there it doesn't seem to be like anything spiritual or any connection involved there. It's just
Let me rag
Smack,
on.
smack, spank, spank.
yeah.
I'll rag on 50
Right.
Shades of Grey some more. The whole concept of that relationship that the guy, Christian Grey, he's
There we
like
go.
obsessive. And, she's on vacation with her family and he shows up out of nowhere. Like, that's not sane. If you are in a BDSM relationship or not, just a regular relationship with somebody does stuff like that, that's not sane.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's
but when-
stalker.
Right, but when they put it in media in the context of BDSM, then it's acceptable somehow. But obviously, they have no idea that that is not acceptable within BDSM.
Okay.
So yeah, stuff like that. Trying to, if you want to control somebody like in every aspect of their life, there is a framework between BDSM to follow that. It's called total power exchange, where you agree that you're basically gonna have one person as the dominant and one person as submissive, not just in the bedroom but just in every single aspect of your life.
Was it a total power change?
Total power exchange,
Total
TPE,
power.
total power exchange. So it sounds a lot better on
Fucking
paper.
acronyms.
In reality, most
Too
of the
many
time,
letters.
it just doesn't really work. It has the potential to turn abusive. You're really
Absolutely.
obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's more of one of those things that maybe is better as a fantasy than as a reality.
Yeah.
You can incorporate aspects of it and maybe try it out for short periods of time, but most people will
A
tell
little
you
test
that,
drive.
yeah, that TPE just as a full on, like always, it just kind of, it's a unicorn thing. I don't think anybody knows anybody who's actually made it work. Everybody who thinks that they know somebody that it did work, it turned out bad in some way or another. So
What? I mean, they just whatever I say goes.
right,
Obey
basically,
every command.
Yeah.
Type of.
In all
situation.
aspects of life.
in all aspects of life. So yeah, it's one of those things that sounds maybe really exciting for some people,
I don't know. That sounds terrible.
but
I don't
in,
want any part of that.
right, in practice,
I don't even want to be the dominant. We're like, no, freaking you make a decision.
right, but in
Yeah.
practice you have
Wipe
to set
3
boundaries,
times. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, so yeah, that's one extreme thing that, like I said, in media is portrayed like every single BDSM relationship is a TPE relationship,
Right.
like Christian
You'll
Grey
see-
and whatever Anna or whatever her name is. Like it's like he controls every single aspect of her life.
Oh.
So and
Yeah,
that's
that's
seen,
fun.
that's portrayed as the stereotype of that's what BDSM is,
Yeah.
and it's not. That's a very very rare thing. Like I said, like very rare. I don't think that's ever actually happened for anybody. Like that, it's
Yeah.
more of a fantasy.
And they'll typically
Let's hope
depict
not.
like the more extreme fantasies, like people that are groups of, dog fantasies. Like there's 5 or 6 different couples, and they all have a leash, and one of them
Right.
is running around with mask on, leash, has a whole
Right.
different name, eats out of a bowl, drinks out of a bowl,
Right, and
and it's all part
What?
of the lead up to the end of the night and
right.
fireworks and all that.
So that would be
It's all part of the process.
pet play. So yeah, I mean, what is portrayed in media? Like I said, there's so many negative stereotypes because of that. Like for example, another one I think, like you said, violence is that most people think BDSM. What they think of like actual like mutilation or like cutting each other or like drawing blood in some way or being like so aggressive or violent in some way that 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 would not be considered safe.
Okay.
That would not be considered sane. And even if it's
Violates the
consensual,
2 robot rules.
right? And even if it's consensual, it's still not safe or sane, so it's still a no-go.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was, there's been cases of stuff like that, people who were doing stuff like that, like general mutilation and stuff like that, and people think, that's just part of BDSM. That's what those sadomasochists do.
That's what they do.
It's like, no, it's not. That's frowned upon within BDSM as well. It's not.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, even if you can justify it as consensual,
Still not saying.
it's not safe and it's not sane. So
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Fucking
not
crazy.
Yeah. But that's what people think BDSM is. That's
Yeah.
what a lot of people's idea.
That's
of
probably
it.
just a tiny little sliver of those really crazy people.
Because
Like,
I'm
really
sure
crazy
that
people
there
that are
are
not
people
really-
that perhaps do enjoy like drawing
Right.
a little blood from, I don't know.
right. Some blood play maybe, but like I said, you're toying a very
That
very
sounds
That's
thin
a-
like
line.
it happens once a month.
It's a,
Right. Well, stuff like that. It's actually more common, but but with like drawing
Someone's a
blood and
monthly
stuff like
frequent
that,
Red Wing flyer.
yeah, that's not as common. And there's an inherent danger to stuff like that because blood pathogens and just maybe you go too far, you cut too deep. There's so honestly, like I feel like you would have to really know your stuff, like almost be a certified doctor to be able to safely engage in that type of thing.
Don't get any ideas.
So, right, that's right.
Don't you fucking cut me. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, but that's not a common thing. Like I said, it's going to be a very rare thing, but that's what most people think.
Yeah.
BDSM is like, that's it. Like
they stick you on.
Does that.
They stick you on an inversion table and whip you with something with metal endings.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, oh yes,
More.
do it again, but hit me like you mean it.
Yeah. So I guess having established what BDSM is not, we can establish what it is, aside from what I've already explained.
Okay, so what is it? So what does it stand for again?
So it's actually
Butt diamonds.
it's actually 3 acronyms within one. So it's BD is bondage and discipline.
Bondage and discipline.
So bondage, I think most people know, is being restrained or tied up or in some way. And the discipline aspect of it is, of course, maintaining that discipline, and then also there's other things that fall under discipline. But they go together hand in hand.
That's probably part of the safety,
right? D and then DS, which is actually, I would say, the meat and potatoes of BDSM because it deals with the power dynamics within people.
Wait, so DS is also BDD?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just it's not because BDDSSM doesn't sound as good as BDSM, so it's not as easy.
There's
to
2
remember.
S's also. BDDSSM.
Right. So yeah, DS
It sounds like fucking Morse code. BDDSSM. BDDSSM.
So yeah, that's the meat and potatoes of the power dynamics between people. Dominant, D, and S, submissive. Usually referred to as dom and sub. So that's dominance and submission.
Okay.
That every other aspect of BDSM encapsulates that.
So bondage, discipline, dominant, submissive.
Mm-hmm. Dominance and submission, because it's the interpersonal relationship. Even outside of BDSM, there's a power dynamic between every interaction that you have with anybody. So if you're in a group of people, if you're interacting with one person, anybody, whether it's a relationship, friends, work, there's always a power dynamic between people. It's something that's inherent, and no matter how much you try to be egalitarian and equal, there's always that inherent power dynamic between people. Somebody always kind of tries to be more of a leader, and somebody else tries to be more of a follower. So
48 Laws of Power is a really awesome book to read.
For that.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
I read it multiple times.
And and because of that, I would say
I should read it again.
BDSM has helped me more grow as a person than any self-help book, any motivational speaker conference I've attended, any motivational speaker. Or
You've attended some?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
right.
I mean,
mostly through work,
Another one.
But yeah, it's because
I've seen some on the YouTube.
Like I said, the power of the mind, it helps you understand yourself, and it helps you understand your interactions and relations to other people. So honestly, once you learn the big framework of it opens up possibilities and doors in other aspects of life. It's not just sex that it helps, that it can be used for.
Teaches you about yourself.
Yeah, yourself and your relationship to others.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the SM is the one that everybody stereotypes as.
The sadomasochism.
Sadomasochism, yeah. So sadist is somebody who enjoys giving pain. Masochist is somebody who enjoys receiving pain.
So dominant, submissive again.
Yeah, like I said, and even between bondage and discipline,
and
you have one person tying up, one person being tied. Yeah, so that's the medium.
But isn't it that sometimes the dominant likes to get tied up, but he's saying
so that would be what you would call a switch. So you can be a dominant, you can be a submissive, or you can be a switch where you like to do both.
Okay.
Okay.
So
switch.
So sadomasochism,
Makes me look at Nintendo a whole different way right now.
especially Nintendo DS,
Oh shit! It's a Switch.
right? Maybe Nintendo did that on purpose. I don't know because there's a Switch and DS. Nintendo, care to comment?
Comment
Also
below.
record. But yeah, they're gonna come out with the Nintendo SM next.
I know.
The retro BD.
Yeah.
Did you say VD?
Oh damn, that's really retro.
Right. Yeah, that's not safe.
Yeah,
No.
That's against rule number 1.
And potentially not sane.
Yep. Especially if you know you have it, then and you're still going around doing it, then that's definitely not sane.
Then you're a fuckhead.
Yeah, get tested regularly. But so yeah, I guess
Okay, so all right, so we've got kind of the definition of what it is, a little bit of what it isn't.
I guess like why would people want to be dominant or submissive? I think that might be a good thing to kind of
Okay,
talk about.
sure. Yeah,
so-
before we get into like, all right, so now I know which one I am,
Right.
so you can go and seek out your
Right. Yeah. I mean,
opposite magnet or whatever.
and you pretty much know. I mean, maybe take some experimentation and everything. But for example, there's a bigger stigma on being submissive. Whether you're a man or a woman, there's a stigma on being submissive. If you're a man and you're submissive, you're seen as weak, beta male. Like
Right.
Okay.
if you submit to women, oh, what's wrong with yours? Even with same-sex relationships as well. You're seen. There's a stigma of being seen as the weak one.
Okay.
But submissiveness has if you think about it, the submissive really is the one that is in control, because the dominant can't do anything without the submissive's consent. So it's the submissive that is gifting the dominant the ability
To do that.
to do whatever
Yeah.
they both want.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, it's definitely not something that's only weak people do, and there may be many reasons why you would like.
I had never
to be
thought of that
submissive.
before.
That
makes sense,
A
though.
lot of this conversation so far that I had never given thought to.
And that's most people. Like
This is like the quietest you've been on any of the episodes.
I'm also really tired. I should
What?
say that.
It's like making mental notes.
rule number 72: no excuses. Play like a champion.
Yeah. So, and for dominant, and and if you're a woman, you're seen as submissive, as you're just playing into the patriarchal, misogynistic. But it's not. They're supposed you do whatever you like. Like I said, there's many reasons why somebody might want to be submissive, and it's just there's literally I could spend we could spend another whole episode just talking about that, the psychology, or not even psychology, but just the motivations that different people can have for that.
So that could be another word for the M. So motivation. Well, we gotta add another M. So BDDSSMMM.
Yep. And I think the same thing, the stigma with sadomasochism, well, actually, hold on, let me back up real quick.
Okay.
For dominant, there's also, the stigma that to be a dominant, you have to be like this alpha male, or if you're a woman, like the butch, or maybe just the very strong, stern woman, type thing. Like,
Okay.
but anybody and everybody can be either one. It's just really up to your personal preferences, and it might be in line with your personality in general. It might be the opposite of your personality in general.
Sure.
So,
Kind of like
Be all
what's
that you can be.
suppressed otherwise.
right. Yeah. And as you know, like, I'm a very easygoing person. I'm a dominant. I don't enjoy submission at all. So it's just not for me. I'm not a switch or a submissive or anything. For me, dominant
Don't get it twisted.
dominance is just
Top.
what I like doing.
Top.
He's a top.
But and it's not because because I feel like I am like this big bad, like, no, it's just that's what I personally find enjoyable and exciting. From the submissive end, I just don't it just doesn't click for me. It just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'll give you a real life example I had with somebody that I met that, we discussed a little bit, and she expected me to, outside of any sexual interaction, also be, like the prototypical alpha male, be an asshole to everybody and all that.
Oh, huh.
And I was like, that's not me. That's not how it works. Like,
She wants you to be a meathead.
right. Yeah.
Like a 120-pound fucking shoulder presses.
Right. And you can have some people who are dominants who are like that, and some people who are like that and are subs.
Right.
So, like I said, it has,
because they need a break from
nothing to
being
do-
alpha.
There's no real, you can't say, oh, this guy, he's definitely a dom. Oh, this guy, he's definitely a sub. Or this girl, she's definitely a sub. Like, you can't make those assumptions. You just
Right.
really can't.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
As
know
with
somebody.
anything else.
Basically, the only way you can know is by asking them. That's really the only way you can. You can't make any assumptions or, based on stereotypes or anything like that, because that's not how it works. So I may be like a laid back person outside of sexual play, but in sexual play, I like to be dominant. And
So does that start like from interaction number one? Like, hey, how you doing? My name is Gabe. I'm a dominant.
right. Well, it depends. I mean, it depends on if you're meeting people, like, for example, at a BDSM event or you belong to a BDSM group online or something like that, then you know that you can dive into discussing that stuff.
But at the library, you got to be a little more.
At the library.
If you're hitting on somebody at the library, right? You don't open with that.
Yeah, someone who doesn't have internet freely, they got to go to the library.
Right. Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah. But I mean, and that's the sucky thing about, the vanilla world. Okay. Get with the program. About the vanilla world is that you dive into relationships blind. Mm-hmm. You spend weeks, months with somebody trying to figure out what you like, maybe hoping and praying that they're going to be into the same stuff that you are, that you're going to be a good match. Whereas when you come into it with the BDSM mentality, you're getting it all out and you're having an open conversation.
So how early into the relationship? Because you meet someone, first time you meet them, first date, second date, is it, I mean...
It will vary.
Comfort level.
Wait, the encounter. Like, the encounter, is that planned to be just sex? Or is it like we're gonna start dating?
Hold on, we haven't got there yet.
Right. There's no blueprint for that. It's basically the same as you would treat any other person.
Okay, so whatever happens initially.
Right. Maybe you're texting and one of you hints at something and then you kind of start talking about it. Maybe you go on a couple dates and you feel comfortable enough to bring it up. Maybe, you've been dating for a while and you decide to bring it up.
Possibilities are endless.
Right, yeah. It's the same. It's the same as any other. The same as dating. Unless, like I say, you are specifically dating within a BDSM frame,
Right.
You
meet on that Facebook group.
Online or something like that, yeah. Or at events or clubs or stuff like that, BDSM clubs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So speaking of vanilla, because I know I'm going to say the vanilla world and vanilla things a lot. Like I said, that's just anything that's basically the normal, what people do every day, which, like I said, I don't think it's that great to just potentially waste your time with people hoping and praying that they're going to be of the same mind that you are, not just sexually, but like I said, with the BDSM mentality, you can apply that to everything.
Like I want kiwi lime, not just vanilla.
Right. So it opens like communication.
Fruit on top.
Basically, that's what I would say. So, I mean, yeah.
Not fruit on the bottom. Well stirred.
So I guess a little bit more specific examples. Flavors within BDSM that are not vanilla.
Oh, caramel.
So I there's different ones, and you could define in different ways. There's no set. This is what they all are, but they usually fall under the same categories. So, for example, control. That's obviously about one person controlling the other.
Right.
be it in an explicitly sexual way, or you can sprinkle in into your everyday life, this and that.
Sprinkles now.
And that's another thing. You design the framework that you want your BDSM relationship to work within. So
Okay.
it can be just a one night stand. You agree you're gonna try to do this stuff and this and that. Could be a short term relationship. It could be a long term relationship. So it could be that you've been married for a couple of years or dating for a couple of years, and you just decide that you want to give it a try. Like I said, there's no set way to do it. But yeah, control is one of the different flavors. Conquest would be another one. That's where it's,
Conquest?
Right. So
Okay.
some submissives, for example, don't like to just be told what to do or just be, dominated, but rather want to feel like they're being conquered. Like they'll put up resistance or be bratty. There's a subset of subs called brats, which are subs who are basically kind of, snappy and kind of
hard to get.
talk back and hard.
Okay.
And it's more of a conquest. You have to.
Are those the Latinas?
You can overcome that crazy. The what?
Right. Latinas are just like that in general. I don't know.
True.
But
Hey.
so for that sub, they like to feel conquered, like you earned the ability to be dominant. And that's the same for a dominant that enjoys conquest. They don't want to just tell somebody what,
You're gonna earn your meal.
but rather feel like they earned it. So, and all these different flavors I'm speaking of, it's not like one person is only one. No, everybody can be
Sprinkles.
all of them,
Yeah.
to whatever degree.
Like Thursdays or, Twisted Titty Thursdays.
Oh my God.
Service would be another flavor.
Service.
So, for example, let's say an example of a maid role play. You're the sub is servicing.
So that can yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking. Like
the
you
service
get
in general just be any
hand
kind
in
of
the foot
service.
type of service,
Right? Like it can be any type of
whatever
service.
it is.
So
It could be a wash my car service.
right, could be domestic service is what you would call that.
Domestic service.
Like doing chores and doing the laundry, and
Or
stuff
like
that.
massages and
Right,
like that kind of
massages,
thing.
yep.
Meals.
Or it can be just sexual service. Or like I said, can be. I can't get into every single detail because we would be here all night.
Yeah. Podcasts isn't quite that long.
Right. And within
We
service,
still have to get into all that.
right. You may say, who would want to do that? Who would want to serve somebody else? And like there's there's different motivations. Maybe some people
I can see that though. Like, ooh, I earned that dick.
Some people like to feel like they earned it. Some people like to be pampered or be praised after doing it. After doing that service and get that praise. And some people like to just do it from a perspective of kind of like being degraded or like being like they're below somebody, stuff like that.
Okay.
There's like everybody's into different things. There's, like I said, there's endless possibilities for all this stuff.
Absolutely.
Which brings us, I guess, into another flavor, which is devaluation. What you would think of degradation, of humiliation. A very vanilla example.
Defilement.
Right. Yep, defilement as well. A very vanilla example of devaluation would be dirty talk that is humiliating in some way. Like somebody calling somebody, like a whore, or calling if it's a guy, then calling him he's a little bitch. You're my bitch. That.
You have a little dick.
Come here, my little short tort man.
Right, like physical devaluation,
Shrivel
degradation.
little short tort.
Yeah. So that's a part of it. Some people are really turned on by that, and like I said, everybody's turned on by different things. Like it doesn't matter what you're turned on by. There's nothing wrong with you as long as safe.
Hold on.
Consensual.
But there.
If you like to just go out and rape people, that's not safe.
No.
That's not sane, and that's not consensual.
No
That's
underage.
not what we're promoting on this episode at all.
Yes.
I might even just mute that shit.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, anything sexual that falls within that framework, it's not really wrong. It might not be somebody else's cup of tea, but there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Just because you find something disgusting doesn't mean that it is inherently disgusting. So there's different strokes for different folks, as they say.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Very true.
of all the different strokes, what do we have in this tool chest?
Oh, yes. So
What kind of strokes are in here? I'm not stroking nothing in this tool chest, by the way.
yeah, so
He said that they do the sterilize or clean, or I don't know what you actually do.
yeah,
Or not sterilize, not
right. No, that's not
Absolutely
medical grade
not.
sterilization stuff, anything like that.
yeah, disinfect.
But yeah. So another
Right.
other flavors is really quick because they kind of
Oh.
go hand in hand with. So nurture would be one that kind of goes hand in hand with what I spoke about service. In a way,
That can be more of like the cuddle.
providing nurturing, feeling nurtured. That falls within the BDSM dominance and submission power dynamic framework. Same thing with objectification. It's similar to devaluation, but being made more like an object. Like you brought up the example of pet play. If
Right.
like somebody role playing as a dog or whatever.
Okay.
That would be objectification because you're kind of is more into rather than degrading or humiliating. Is more about making somebody more like treating them like an object.
Right.
Rather
A
than
non-human.
like a person, right? So, and like I said, nothing wrong with either one being into any of that stuff. Some people inherently think of that and have a negative reaction to it, but if you're not into it, but somebody else is, but what does it
Then just
matter?
maybe-
yeah, then just
Yeah.
you don't mess with it.
Right. So yeah. So getting more into that stuff.
All right.
Because I know that's the moment you're all waiting for. So the
Show and tell.
the contract.
That's why we're doing video.
right.
What happened?
Oh, you want to take a little quick
Pause.
cut?
Go.
Right.
That was not a spank. For those that are listening to audio only.
Right.
There were no butt cheeks involved there.
no clapping.
Unfortunately.
So yeah, that brings us into the contract which will lead us into the bag.
What's in your bag?
Right. So again,
So the contract is fascinating. I like it's awesome.
right. So it's basically it's not an actual legal contract.
Yes.
Right.
It's
It
just-
doesn't have to be notarized or anything.
Right, no,
Do people get these things
witnesses or-
notarized?
Some do.
Really?
Some do. Some do like to role play it that far. Yeah. But like, it's more of a role play thing. It's kind of getting you in that mood and kind of a sexy
I think they'll
way of.
try to get it notarized. And the notary's gonna be like, this is not a fucking state document unless it's part of like a
Legit
marriage
thing.
type shit.
No, you can. You can get pretty much any contract notarized.
It costs like $13.
any kind of, I guess, any agreement. Yeah.
right. Yeah, pretty much. But no.
This
But
is
it's
a
not. It's
legal
not.
agreement.
It's not a legal agreement. It's just kind of like I said.
Seven ass slaps per day.
Okay, so yeah, talk about the contract because come on, get to the fucking bag.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So the contract is, there's a scene in 50 Shades of Grey that they discuss the contract. So it's basically, like I said, a kind of fun and creative and kind of role play, sexy way to open communication. So you already established that you're both into BDSM. You already established that you're compatible and you want to start playing together. So now you say, okay, we still have
Let's
to
play.
figure out what we're gonna do. So the
What game
contract
are we
is-
gonna play?
Right. So
Okay.
that the contract is basically a very extensive way of getting all those details out of
It's
into the open.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So I have a contract that I've drafted that is about 12 pages long. Yeah.
See,
But-
you hear that? 12ers. That's a 12er
Oh my
right there.
gosh.
But most of it is just the list of activities, and that takes up a lot of space. So nine
The balls
out
of
of
it.
the 12 pages. Yeah, it's that. Which is just a listing of activities of
The activity
different
list
sexual
is-
activities. I don't know.
Interesting.
Right. So the first part of the contract would be, for example, kind of protocol stuff like what does each party like to be called during play?
Okay.
For
Does
example,
it start with legal name?
Charlie.
yeah, this person hereby referred to as the dom or the dominant likes to be referred to by this person hereby.
Heretofore,
you can
therefore.
draft it very formal. You can draft it just
Where to for?
right. But it's so referred to as this during play. is there any safety considerations? For example, you have injuries. Do you have, have
you been in a car accident in the last 12 months?
Chronic illnesses? Yeah, anything that that would inflict any unsafe situation,
unnecessary.
basically. Right. So you want to be aware of those things. If somebody has a bad nerve on their leg, then you don't want to be applying a lot of pressure to that. Just stuff like that, as well as emotional safety as well, not just physical.
I feel like we have to go get physicals and share the results with each other.
Yeah, that could be part
just
of.
to be completely fit.
Right.
I like that, actually.
And also, obviously, when was the last time you got tested? How sexually active have you been? Just to make sure that you're both on the same page. That nobody wants to catch something from somebody else, because we're not forthcoming about it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, doc, my balls are juggled regularly. I mean,
right. What else? Emotional safety. Like I said, is there any emotional trauma that you have, or any things that may trigger that emotional trauma that we would want to avoid?
And are people usually completely open about this? Because mental health is really hard to talk about. So is this kind of it's such a huge bubble that people feel completely, in your experience, as someone can tell you, what, I have daddy issues.
Right. Right.
I don't know, maybe. And that's one of the things that I like.
Right. Well, that's all I seem to attract, apparently.
Oh, shit.
But yeah,
what kind of vibes you putting out there, man?
Right.
Attraction.
I think, because I will say one of probably my more strong flavors of dominance is probably nurture. So it's one of the stronger flavors that I have. So, I like to do filthy things to you, but I'm also gonna, treat you nice and tell you are the best.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, and tell you how awesome you are afterwards. And
so do you have hair brushes and shit? I picture you just brushing hair.
I know how.
That's another thing that's included in the contract.
Putting lotion.
Yeah, aftercare. What level of aftercare do you need? What
stitches
do you like to take a shower afterwards? You would like to cuddle afterwards.
Tea.
You want to have some snacks, eat something.
Tea and slippers.
Water,
ooh,
yeah.
Fresh slippers.
Yeah. Do you like to wear your silk pajamas afterwards?
Hell yeah.
So
okay.
Different people have different needs.
All right, put your hand in there and take something out of your bag.
Put my hand in where? Be more specific.
In that dark hole.
The dark hole.
Right.
All right. So, yes, we are gonna get into some examples. Of what is all some individual techniques or what you can do.
Dun 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 dun.
So.
It's a big duffel. Lift the whole thing up real quick. Can you do that? It's a heavy bag. Look at that shit. Damn. All right, that's a whole gym bag.
Right. So number one is safety. So I have a first aid kit in here.
Yep.
So stuff
military bag, got it.
In case there's any accidental cuts, burns, or anything like that. I try my utmost to be safe at all times and not have that happen in the first place. But you always want to be prepared in case anything does happen by accident or whatever. So yeah, I have first aid kit in here. Right over there. Also with safety, these are safety shears for cutting either clothes or, in my specific case, rope.
Rope.
Yeah.
I was gonna say rope.
Right. So if you tie something too tight and you see that it's affecting circulation, or you don't want to, and if it's an intricate knot or something, you don't want to mess around with that. Just cut it.
Okay.
A rope is like $10. A life is not
15, 20 at least.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with any of that stuff, cause nerve damage or cause anything else like that. So
absolutely. Okay.
So safety number one.
Beautiful.
Also with safety, I have
There's a lot of
surface
stuff in this
cleaner.
bag, dude.
Because sometimes after you're done playing, there's a mess that you need to clean up. So you disinfect and clean up.
So that's for surfaces, okay. Not for your bodily surfaces.
Right. This is toy cleaner, because you don't want to just use any. So there's a water-based toy cleaner.
Advanced.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, safety first. You always, after you use
Cleanliness
toys, you want to make sure
godliness.
that they're clean and safe to use for the next time.
Okay.
If you agree that there is a next time.
Right, lube, safety as well. Sometimes you need that. You don't
That's
want
unfortunate.
to just rush into things. Let's see. And I took some stuff out of here too that I
This is not as full as it normally is right now.
Yeah, normally.
And there are some things that we can't show on.
Right. Yeah. So can we talk about them or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So stuff
what
like
is it?
I figured not good to show on camera anything that goes inside the body. Stuff like dildos or butt plugs and stuff like that.
Damn, like it was. No, I have no idea.
Which very important safety consideration. Not all sex toys are created equal. You don't just want to put, for example, especially when it comes to anal stuff, you don't want to put any old sex toy in your butt. Because,
Not just any old sex toy.
Because one, material. Your colon tissue is very sensitive.
Yes.
That's why some people do cocaine by just putting it in their butt because you get high a lot faster. So I have no experience with that, but
She's learning so much.
or some people even like put alcohol, like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard of teenagers
Like do
filling
enemas.
tampons
Yeah.
and
Right.
but
Yeah.
not the cocaine.
So people have even had coffee that way too.
Oh my god.
Fucking.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
So you talked about but what are these two large things like?
we'll get to that.
Oh, I'm just like, really? Can you be safe with that?
So those are not for that. So like I said, safety considerations. If you are curious about anal play, want to try it on your own or with somebody else, do your research. Be safe. Like I said, materials of what you put in because you may be allergic to some things. You want to get materials that are non-allergenic. Rubber is not a non-allergenic material. Also,
So no, like super strong, dog chew toys.
right.
Okay.
You definitely don't want to put food in there.
Because it isn't processed
Yeah,
the same way there than if it goes through the
Like
whole.
people may look at a banana and be like, no, don't do that.
But it looks so appealing.
Right. Nothing that might
the right size.
nothing that might potentially cause any cuts or bruises. It's very sensitive tissue again, so you want to make
Yes.
sure you're using toys that are designed for that.
You said that tissue is just like the inside of your mouth.
Right. And that's why it feels good because it is the same tissue as the inside of your mouth, basically.
Okay.
And
It
it's
does feel similar.
Very sensitive.
It does.
And anybody who's never tried any anal stuff maybe don't understand why people put stuff in their butt because it actually, like I said, it's sensitive. And it feels good. Stick a finger in there. See if you like it. But put some lube
Start
on
with
it.
one.
Put some lube on it first.
You were warned. You were warned.
Right. You were warned at the beginning. And like I said, you don't want to stick, even with sex toys, you don't want to stick a dildo that's designed for vaginal in your butt because your butt, once you reach a certain point, it will do this. It will suck things in.
Suck up.
So that's
black hole.
why,
Vacuum.
right? That's why anal toys all have a
Vacuum.
white base. That's why they're all kind of like flared and have that white base. So
It's a
it'll
torpedo.
Right. It will keep things in place.
It always reminds me of the fucking bullets that would shoot at you in Mario. Those big ass, those black bullets. The end cap, man.
Can't play Mario again with the
No.
same.
Once I grew up, I was like, that's a fucking butt plug flying at fucking Mario,
Oh my
taking up the
God.
whole screen.
Right. So I guess that's enough about butt stuff. But
Moving on.
this is just some miscellaneous stuff. This is like assorted jewelry and stuff like that. Because, like I said, I like to dress up my sub and make them pretty and make them feel special.
Oh, wow.
So I have some fancy jewelry in there and stuff like that. That it's not like gold and real diamonds and stuff like
Yes, it is. I can tell.
that. Right.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, some fancy necklaces and and earrings and
So, like, all right, you're going to be my
anklets and
Cleopatra.
stuff like that. Yeah, I do actually have some stuff like the
Some
snake
Egyptian shit.
armlet thing, stuff like that. Yeah. So I have an assortment of
You got all the
Stuff
Disney
like that.
princess stuff.
Accessories. Oh my god.
probably not the best.
that would be sick.
Although if you Google that, you will find
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh.
Google princess, Disney princess, BDSM.
Oh no.
Safe search off. Anyway, moving on.
There's the heck.
Let's see what else.
Those bats? No, those have little hooks on them.
That's what I was saying.
Actually, I guess I should have said before I go into anything else.
Oh God!
You don't need any fancy stuff to get started. Like I said, and even everybody has these two things that you can use. One is your hands.
Okay.
Never met in my
Two of
personal
those.
experience. Never met a woman who did not like, to some degree,
A
you know,
spank.
little spanky. But
A little slap and
I just
tickle.
have to say things in the most weird and perverted
Creepy
way.
way.
Yeah. And that's just me.
You
I just,
deviant.
yeah. And I just,
Now here's your necklace, baby.
right. So yeah, that's a big thing
You
for
look
me. My
pretty
sense of
for me.
humor is definitely not everybody's got what's But yeah, that's one thing, and the other thing would be a belt. You can do anything with a belt. Well, in terms of, like, for example, bondage. So you do this, and you would put.
And there's her.
I don't know if somebody
Okay.
wants to, because I can't fully do it on myself. Any volunteers? No.
For what?
So basically, to make handcuffs out of a belt. So you can do
Oh,
this.
okay.
Right,
And then,
right.
so one hand would go in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you take the other one,
Loop it through your loop.
make another loop there, and your other hand is gonna go in here. And then you bring it around. And then, well, once you put your hands in there, these loops are gonna get a lot smaller. And then you go bring it around, tighten it, and that's basically you have handcuffs right there.
Okay.
So this, ladies, is why dating a big boy with a big belt gets you some good handcuffs.
Right? Well, I mean, most people's wrists, whether you're a man or not, or a woman, are smaller than that.
I'm speaking up for the
People's-
big boys.
Yeah, people's wrists are usually not indicative, really, and ankles too. You're usually, even if you're a really big person, well, I guess to that point, no. But
Get some
Wait.
cankles.
well, yeah, like I said, this is if you want to
Handcuffs.
get started. You don't even need to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff. Just get started, experiment with it. Just a belt and your
One
hands.
finger
Right.
belt.
So I'm not gonna put that back on. So I guess that's bondage.
Okay.
Obviously, with spanking, your hand you can only go so hard because actually your hand is sensitive tissue. So somebody likes it really hard, harder than you can do without hurting your own hand. This is where these come in.
Is that a
What are these,
special
shock
glove?
absorbing?
It's just regular
Oh, okay. The leather.
regular leather gloves, but obviously it's not gonna
Hurt as
Sting
much.
as much.
Yeah, so you can go harder with this.
Okay.
So I have that in there.
Wow.
Go harder with the spank.
And like I said, some people like it very light, some people like it very hard. Do whatever you like. Doesn't
Some people want
get
the
whatever
butterfly
works. Get
kisses.
whatever works for you. See what else.
There's all these little like pockets and compartments that you're pulling this out of.
Right.
Yes.
Like you said, very organized.
I do. And even that is
Whoa,
like not as
the
organized as I
fuck
would like.
is
So this
this?
is what is called a Wartenberg wheel. It's actually used in medicine to test people's nerves. So you might actually.
I never used anything like that.
So it looks scary because it's like spiky,
Fucking Dr.
but
Kevorkian shit.
it's actually not. Like it doesn't feel like if you do that, it doesn't feel like you're being.
It
Stabbed.
does look spiky. It does
Yeah,
look-
I do. I was like, all right, I'll do this one.
It looks a lot worse than it actually feels. But it's like a ting. It's more like a
Right,
tingling sensation.
Sure. I assume you can apply pressure.
Right. Yeah. You could do that, but yeah,
Okay.
it looks scary, but it's not. So yeah, that's
All right, that's
sensory
interesting.
play. Obviously, you can
And there's a
accomplish.
single one right there.
Right. Yeah. This is just a single wheel.
That one seems dangerous.
You can accomplish the same.
Even
just
more so than the one with 5.
Let me.
with scratching, for example. That's the same thing. Right. So yeah, it looks scary because it's all spiking, but it's not. When you actually feel it on your skin, it's like I said, it's more of a tingling, right? It feels more like a tingling
Sure.
than
So yeah, sure. I think it could feel like more. Like I still kind of feel it.
like,
Yeah,
if
me
you press it,
too.
yeah.
Like I feel a little track.
So,
Yeah.
so this is something that was designed. It was an invention by Dr. Wartenberg to
Kevorkian.
test people's like nerve endings and stuff like
The
that.
sensitivity.
Check for sensitivity damage, stuff like that. Yeah. This is a lube applicator. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's just a syringe. Syringe.
It's a turkey baster.
Right. Turkey baster, basically. Yeah. Put that over there. For more sensory play, tickler.
Yep.
You know, so
That's a crucial tool.
sensitive spots. What you would call the erogenous zones.
Like the gooch.
Oh my god.
I think like most people are familiar with like 7 erogenous zones. But there's actually like 20 something.
Friends.
At least, yeah, right. At least there's at least like 20 something. You know, so because your scalp is a very sensitive area. The back of your neck, your belly, back of your arms. So yeah, this is basically just the same idea. Your, sensory stimulation.
And is that part of kind of like the journey, so to speak? Is that for you to find the special spots, or is that something that would be laid out in the agreement and be like, listen, I like it
right
behind the arm and
it
this
can
and
be,
there?
yeah, absolutely. So you can be as detailed as you want, or maybe you can say, I like sensory play with ticklers,
Tell you hot or cold
with the wheels, and how did I forget to mention safe words? But yeah,
pineapple.
right. So safe words, so maybe you say, I like this stuff. You can, if I get to a point where I feel like I'm not as comfortable with it, or I'm reaching my limit, then I have, that's why you have your safe words for, which you can have a sort of a yellow light safe word, which actually most common is to just say yellow, where you're not at your limit, but you're kind of getting there. And
so,
red.
And that could come in handy, like when you get surprised. Yellow. Okay.
Yep. Or red, which is that's a hard stop. That's I reach my limit. We need to stop right now and check in.
Okay.
So yeah, safe words. Yeah, I don't know how I skipped right over that, but yeah,
that's important. Establish your safe words.
Yeah, because it's an important one with safety, obviously.
Yeah. Rule number 1.
Right. So yeah, what else? This is just some like masks, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Sexy mask.
Little lacy things.
Yeah, I took out some other lazy stuff. Like I have probably like 10 different colored stockings and stuff like that here, and I just took that out because I don't need to show you that. I can just tell you that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's better than fucking making it rain stockings.
Right. What else? Oh, blindfold. Because obviously,
crucial.
When you deprive one sense, it enhances the other one. So, for
Okay.
example, if you're going to do sensory play with that, blindfold.
Would come in handy.
Right.
Okay.
Blindfold and a tickler.
Right. Yeah. What else?
So would that be considered vanilla?
I would consider that vanilla. Yeah.
That's pretty vanilla.
Yeah, 'cause I think
Pretty common.
Most everybody, does that. Or if you try it, nobody's gonna think like, "Ooh, oh my god, you're putting a blindfold on during sex." Shit.
Oh my God.
People, right? Most people close their eyes, so yeah, it's the same thing.
Turn the lights off.
Most people. Never mind.
Well, at least for periods.
Tongue bleeding? You bit it pretty hard right there.
Oh, I have another belt in there. So
Another. Okay. It's for the ankles.
yeah, because that one has the openings on both sides, so that one I can make a little bit more sturdy by looping it to one side and then the other side rather than just one. Let's see.
Get a better hog tie with that one.
I guess so.
Very important part of symbolism in BDSM is colors.
Damn.
These are just different collars. So
Okay, so you like skinny bitches. All right.
I was going to say that. Look at
that'll fit most people's necks. But yeah, I just have a couple different color ones. So colors are kind of like a big thing within BDSM because it's kind of a symbol.
It's a good amount of collars there. What, a half a dozen or so? Just there?
Yeah, just there. Yeah.
Do you have more? Do you have a color
I
collection?
have more colors in there. Yeah. And then I have special colors that, like I said, because the color is kind of like the engagement ring in a BDSM relationship. It's kind of like the symbolic.
A lot of engagement rings.
Right. Well, those are just for aesthetic play, stuff like that.
Yeah. That just goes with the jewelry.
But like a special collar would be like something that you give somebody who is like, you guys are like, you are my sub, I am your dom type thing. Like it's a special relationship
So
now. It's not just right. And some people do have it like basically kind of like a wedding, a coloring ceremony that's kind of like a wedding.
I need to look that up.
I know.
I want to see a coloring ceremony.
a wedding coloring ceremony.
That'd be cool.
And it's just basically a form of role play, doing that. But yeah, collars important. Here I just have like play collars, not actual like I would have a special collar that I would give to somebody who is my sub.
Something with a diamond.
And also
Lasts forever.
You can have an outside collar basically, which is maybe a necklace that is maybe only to you or maybe to other people who are into BDSM would know that necklace symbolizes that you are a sub.
So that would be like a choke collar, like a
right,
training collar for
nowadays. It's not as easy to determine, like because for a fashion statement now most people wear chain collars and collars with the with the ring and stuff like that. So
one with the ring,
right,
is normally like that's where you hook up your
like a ring, like as in is like how that one has a heart shaped, a ring shape.
Okay,
so it's not like it's an actual like ring hanging on it, but actual.
Built into the collar itself. Okay,
But yeah, you can't really tell nowadays because a lot of people just wear those just for fashion.
I mean, they can be pretty fashionable.
There is some secret symbols that if somebody's into BDSM, they can kind of identify that symbol. But I won't disclose that.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna leave that hush hush. You need to be on the Facebook group.
Right. Let's get into some more
Backstage. Oh gosh.
Oh shit.
Crop.
Crop?
Yeah, so this is also for, and you can do it light or you can do it hard. It, like I said, personal preference. Maybe you like just a little light tapping. Maybe you like to do it incrementally harder. Mm-hmm. Something you determine.
It's like a tiny horsewhip. Mm-hmm. Not a whip, but
on any erosional zone.
Your preference? Are you a hard whipper? Or are you a light tapper?
That's up to the sub, not me. I honestly, I am okay with either one. Like, I'm not one that I was gonna say I have to hit you hard. No, if you like, just like, that's fine. If you don't like it at all, we can work around it.
That's the nurturing side of you.
Yeah, it's almost like a must-have because it's kind of hard to imagine
without that.
Right. But any kind of impact play, that's what it's called, impact play. So spanking, whip, or crop, or paddle, or whatever. Speaking of paddle.
Speaking of paddle. I got a pickleball paddle.
Oh,
there you go.
It's a ping pong paddle.
Not the same.
Right. So same thing.
Leather?
Yeah, this is leather. So any kind of...
there's extra. Okay. Right. So there's like...
Because that breaks the impact, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not, loss.
It's like 4 little spankings at once.
Inertia, Isaac Newton and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
So that's a paddle. Like I said, any impact play, it's up to however.
What is that? Is that like a harness?
Yes. So this would be
yes
for like leather bondage. So this is for hog time. So
hog time.
Hog time?
Yeah. So
I
don't know, a hog tie is when your arms and your legs like behind your back.
Oh, okay.
So this is a collar
that goes around your neck.
So that just goes on your neck, and then you can attach things to that. There. And then these are for the arms and legs.
Okay.
So obviously
they're already chained together.
Yeah. And I would say
so. Then you just put another chain.
Right, and you can take this.
Is that this fucking thing over here?
Chain off. Yeah. So basically, this has the rings on it, so that
to connect to the floor over there.
So it comes with the chain. So I would recommend doing stuff like this, that has a soft lining and leather straps and cuffs. It's safer than getting like the metal handcuffs. Because they don't lock. They strap like a belt. So I would recommend that more for beginners than trying to do like lock and padlock stuff or handcuffs that require a key and shit. I lost a key and
yeah.
So we'll have to call this episode BDSM 101.
Yeah,
for beginners.
Right. So these go on the hands. These go on the ankles. Just go here. I'm not gonna put them on because that'll take too much time. And like I said, I don't.
What the fuck are those?
That, so
we're running out of time and we don't know what the fuck they is.
This is. We need it.
This is for bondage as well. So this is what you call spreader bondage.
Spreaders.
So these are actually fun story. These are actually for martial arts. So these are sticks for Filipino martial arts. But I just attached
spreaders.
I just attached hooks to them so I can attach them to that. I have
so those get attached to
to that
the ankle and
so I have
the hog tie
I have
kit.
O-rings to attach them. So so basically, let's say you have the straps on your legs. So this would go between your legs, right? And it keeps your legs spread. That's what they call it. Spread.
So they can't go any closer than that.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So, and then I put this one here because then you can attach
Damn, that's
another.
hardcore.
Maybe you can attach the arms right here.
Okay.
You can,
Dang.
Right. You can attach another one of this right here and attach this to the collar.
Oh fuck.
You can just
Like
get
that?
creative with
Oh,
this.
shit.
That's why I put the 3 different points on it because you can do a number of different combinations.
Oh wow.
And you can also practice martial arts.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
I didn't even explain the hog tie. So this would go behind your back. So you have the
Ain't go behind my back.
So your 2 hands will go to this. Your 2 ankles will go to this. It's what's called a hog tie. If you don't know what a hog tie looks like, Google it. Like I said, it's just basically being tied on your belly with your extremities behind on your back, right? Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
wrapping
Speed
up.
through. Let's go.
Lightning round.
Anyway, okay. So this is I just have this in the bed. These are straps for the bed.
Whoa.
This goes under the mattress. So
Sorry about that, folks.
So it has the rings for attaching again the cuffs.
Okay.
And that's to being tied to the bed without having to learn how to tie knots and stuff like that. So that's good for beginners as well.
Okay. So that's for beginners.
Right. Some more impact play. This is it's God, why did the name just
it's a
leave my
handlebar
mind?
tassel.
Handlebar tassel.
Yep, it goes right on either side of the basket.
So it looks scary, but you can just do very light. Or you can do hard.
Oh, hard.
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of this stuff looks worse than it actually is.
Some impressive leather you got there, man.
Right. Thank you. Those are butt plugs. I'm not thinking that
It all looks very clean too, by the way, for those of you that can't see it this close.
Organized,
It
yes.
smells terrible, but
No.
smells like leather.
fucking horrific.
Well, okay.
Smells like a dead cow.
It's a vibrator in there, not taking that out.
No, probably not
I
good.
have some gags in there. Gags, not recommended for beginners because there's a danger of obviously
Dying.
choking. If you're not used to that, some people, so you just want to play it safe and not
freak
just
out.
jump into that. Yeah, some people freak out, stuff like that. So yeah, just not, I wouldn't recommend just jumping into that right away. Also, it inhibits communication, obviously. You can't say you're safe for it if you're
Right. Okay.
So, so stuff like that. Candles, low temperature candles.
Wait. Low temperature candles?
Right, so they burn a little bit less hot for wax play. So it's the sensory play. Hot wax. Some people Some people like that feeling of the hot wax dripping on them. Moving on. Tape for bondage.
Shit.
This is actually not duct tape. This is electrostatic tape. So if you're gonna do bondage with tape, don't use duct tape. Duct tape will rip your
fucking
hairs,
hair
will
out.
rip your skin. Like it's not good. Not for bondage. Electrostatic tape adheres to itself through
It's like saran wrap.
right. So basically, you can put it on, you can take it off. It doesn't
kinda
stick to
scary.
your skin. It sticks to itself.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't stick to
So
surfaces.
you can get out of it yourself pretty easily, unless.
Depends on how if you're like this, for example.
So it is like saran wrap. then.
But yeah, but it's
looks like rope and
safer.
more tape and
There's a lot of rope in here.
I have
There's
probably
like a
100
dozen-
feet at least of each color I have.
Purple,
Because for different
black, red,
aesthetic.
pink.
I have those are the 4 colors that I have in there. So this is just rope. I'm not gonna have time to show you guys some actual
Yeah, I
ties,
don't think so.
unfortunately. So
We were supposed to also talk about a little bit about Judaism, how this ties into it, but
I fear not.
this
enough time.
just like
There's no way.
right.
wow, here, there.
Overstimulated all of a sudden.
Well, yeah,
Right. Vibrator, not taking that out. There's a leash. Obviously attaches
Okay.
to the collar.
So you really like
fancier
black
leashes.
leather. Okay.
It's good for easy and simple. Like I said, you can make a leash and collar out of rope. You can get fancier collars and leashes. This is just, like I said, this is just basic stuff. Like
This dude had a Cuban
is-
link gold chains.
right, this is my
Big old
traveling
fat ones like Busta Rhymes wears.
this
Right.
is your traveling kit.
This is my traveling kit. This is my
Oh,
This
so
is not
the,
your like I'm at home comfortable kit.
right, this is my house visit This is my house visit Dom.
This is my quickie.
You know, my phone number on the screen.
Oh shit!
Right now, dude.
Wow.
We'll put that up there. We're gonna leave
Call now.
We're gonna leave 2
Discounts
numbers
available.
out. You just gotta guess them. So call all 10 of each
Right.
combination.
Mention Red and Real. You get a 10% discount. No,
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
no. I don't do that for money.
On OnlyFans until October 1st.
Right. I don't do
You
that.
got
for
1 month.
money. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. So yeah, I mean, I kind of,
Dude, that's
like I said, there's a lot
Okay.
of stuff, and I can get in a lot more detail into each of those. I could show you guys some simple rope ties that you can do.
So
Even on yourself, you could practice.
yeah. So what we'll try and do is post a link in the description with the activities list. 9 pages of something
Right.
interesting to read over. Maybe the whole contract. We'll see.
Well,
I've
and
only
again,
read a few items and
with the
my jaw
activity-
dropped a little bit.
Right. With the activity list, keep in mind that is just an all-inclusive, trying to be all-inclusive list of every kind of sexual activity that I can think of. Doesn't mean that I'm into every single one. Doesn't mean that you have to be into every single one.
Right.
It's just,
There's scales for each of it.
right.
It's a good. It's a fair amount of work.
right, yeah.
I have to pull that out.
Yeah, like
It's a
I feel like I should
good
be paid
application.
hourly in order to do this.
Right.
Like, all right, are we fucking or not? Like,
Yeah, but actually, right. And actually, those people will do like charge for
man.
for
See, I knew it.
downloading a sample contract, and stuff like that.
Oh, because they gotta go to the fucking
Right.
FedEx office and pay 62 cents a sheet.
Right. Well, no, I mean, people who are like, for example, they have a website about BDSM and they don't just want to give people a contract for free, so they'll be like, pay this much or subscribe and whatever, and you get a free contract, that kind of stuff.
Join my mailing
So
list.
maybe some people who are into BDSM will be mad if we post a full contract because then they're taking away from my source of income or whatever. But I mean,
Is this one that you typed up?
yeah, I typed up that one. I mean, honestly, like I said, it's just a reference point for people to open that conversation. You
All
can
right.
be like, I'm
We're
not
gonna
into
we're
that.
gonna leave it
Be
up
like,
to you.
I'm into that.
We're gonna leave it up to you if we can do the whole contract. If not, the activity list.
At least, I guess
It's
maybe
fine.
at least we can post some of it that might not be as, that might not get your channel, canceled type thing. So,
Oh,
Okay, sure.
true.
right. So yeah, because
I
some of
guess
it
we
is,
do have to look at that.
explicit. So maybe we don't want
Podcast is not for kids.
yeah, so stuff like that. Speaking of Judaism, what I said on my last episode here, the Shabbat team, that's my backup. My main account on Instagram is radical_Judaism.
Yes,
What is
And-
it? Radical?
Radical, bro.
radical, bro.
So yeah, it's just basically what it is, and that's where I post most of my stuff. Obviously, I post more about Judaism stuff than BDSM and other stuff, but I'll try to.
It's
make it a
entertaining.
little- yeah, spice it up a little bit.
And very, very thought provoking stuff.
Well, thank you so much for being with us here once again. Shirley will have you here again, and I think we have to speak about the Judaism stuff, even though this just opened up a whole box of
Literally.
Pandora. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we can snap a few pictures of some of this stuff and add that to the screen somewhere.
Right.
I don't know where. But yeah,
I don't know
so
what to
again,
do with my hand.
You could do
Red and Real podcast on Instagram, Facebook, of course here on YouTube. We're gonna be doing more episodes more regularly again. Again, sorry about the break,
back from vacation,
but yeah, we had
apologize.
some life to live.
And a few personal things going on. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we still owe you guys an update from our whole vacation. We did post about our amusement park trip, so go check that out. It was fun. You'll get to join us on the log ride, roller coaster, a few other things too. But yeah, any closing thoughts? I feel like Jerry Springer all of a sudden.
I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. I'm just, there's a lot.
Nothing you want
Like-
to say on camera.
No. I think that to me, the whole respect toward the person says a lot. That's something that makes me want to read up on it, where it's not just this stuff, because you see all this stuff and it's like,
Right.
oh
And
my
that's-
God.
Yeah, that's why. I
Is
said
this
that to
one
the
session?
end. Right. That's why I said that to the end, because I was like, I don't want people to think this is what it's about.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is just, it's a small part of what it all actually entails.
Absolutely.
So this whole episode really showed us that you like the foreplay.
Pretty much.
No. Wait. We're gonna explode at the end. All right. Well, until next time, it'll be probably a little bit cleaner next time. No offense. This stuff looks really clean. All right, we'll
Thanks
see you
for
guys.
watching.